laso ne sangma la taji de le shue dang chap ju do ne chang ju do sem je me kolong ge sal dam le sa ro nang.
Welcome everyone to the third day of the teachings. And together with my welcome, I would like to request you to spend a moment generating a pure intent, that of bodhicitta, the awakened mind. And then in that spirit of bodhicitta, please listen to the teachings.
Ta ta nang nga zo uma be lu ji ne chue dam je to ni ten la be dang ha din zo shu de yere chue dam je to ni ten la pa yong du riba tang ne ten la pa dang je da riba ma dang ne la me menga ge te gar ten la be dang de ri ni yong ge yere da ri so so kang la me ba kang gi lam na ten ne to ni to tu ge yo ba ne de lam la ju ya yin ba re ne kang sa mang bo che ne re be tar sha che ba re be tak je dang ne chun ni sa na min do tong ma ni lam na yan de ge yore cho tam je je rang shin de la nge ba ni yong ge yore ten zo che de la ne tong ni je re ba de ne song sha ba re la ten zo ni lam la ju gen kang sa chu ne che ba ma je ba la ne lu la nge ba mi ne ba re ne lu la nge ba ma ne na ne chun ni ko me ko ra me ba wa chun ni ne lu de ma gom na ne tong al tham je le chol ne san je ko ba to be me ba re che zang ne kang sang ga shi ji gi ngo la nge bar tu ne che gom san na me de che ba da yan de song sha ba yin du ne de je nam sha den zo yang chen tum na en pen do chum yo ba re.
In our Dharma teachings, we are discussing the reasonings of the middle way, the logical arguments of the Madhyamika school that help us to resolve the true nature of all phenomena being emptiness or shunyata. So this is one way to realize emptiness, employing these reasonings, right, analytical type of questioning, where there's also another approach where we don't spend much time analyzing or using reasonings, but rather relying on pith instructions of one's guru. Now, how to know which approach is for us? Well, we need to see where our hearts lie, right? Where our hearts are. If we have this kind of an interest, aspiration to really engage our analytical thought, that's great. If we see that that really helps us to come closer to understanding of emptiness, then it means that's our path. Where if we see that by following the pith instructions of our master, that's what really helps us to see clear the true nature of all phenomena, that is shunyata, great, then that's more applicable path for us. But in reality, there are many, many beings in the Buddhist tradition, the past and present, who relied on these reasonings, on analytical thought and investigation to come to understand the true nature of phenomena. We call it suchness, we call it ultimate guru, we call it ultimate nature, right? All the synonyms of that basic space of phenomena that we can come to see and realize based on reasonings. Because for many beings, it's not enough to just meditate. Because, well, the thing is that, if they don't, let's say, put it this way, for many practitioners, if they don't analyze, if they don't engage in this kind of analytical meditation, then they cannot come to see ultimate. They cannot resolve emptiness, even just intellectually, right? And if they don't gain certainty what is emptiness, then what are they going to meditate upon? Without that certainty, that clarity, what is the true nature of phenomena, then there's nothing to meditate on. And without meditating on suchness, they cannot free themselves of suffering and attain a state of Buddha. So for many beings, it's really, we can say it's a prerequisite, right? To engage in this kind of analytical meditation, in order then to be able to carry it on to their practice of meditation, they need to resolve what is emptiness. They need to ascertain it. And right, that kind of process of ascertaining, we call it analytical meditation, and it's extremely helpful for so many beings. So that's why we are spending our time here studying this specific approach.
Tā tēnā wā chīgī nē lū tē tēnā pāp yōng tū rīgbā tāng wā lū tēlā sāmbā tāng wā yinā lū rūp shāb jī rīgbā rīgbā nām rāng mē rā wā sā wā rō jī lā sāmbā tāng nā ngā sōng shā yu rē tā rīgbā nām rāng ngā tē lē nē tā nā ngā zō tāng bā gyū lā chō bā tō jī sāng mē tēn zē wā tī gu lā nē kē chī shē chī mbā yīn bā rē nē tā tō jī sāng mē tēn zē shē yōng tū tā nāng shīng bē chō yun zō nē tā gā lā jē bā rē tā shēn lā jē bā rē tā nye gā lā jē bā rē tā nye mīn lā jē bā rē tē nē jē bā chē yōng tū tā tā jē tī jē bā tāng tāng nē tā rōb tsā nē gā tsō tsō jī nē ngā tsō kā sāng shū bā rē nē tā shēn jē jī nē jē bā tāng tāng tī tā ngā tsō tā nā kā lē shū bā yī na tā shēn jē tō kēn tsū kā rē sōng gu rē sē tū jīg tēn jē bā bō jē tāng nē tā jē rā wāng jēn tē nē shē kē nē kā sō rā chū tū kuay shā bā tā chūn shā bā tā sui shā bā jē yō mā rē tē gyū tāng jēn lā tē nē chūng gu yō rē sāng tē nē shē gu yō rē
And to resolve the nature of phenomena, to understand their nature of being emptiness, such masters as Nagarjuna in the past, he employed the 5 great logical arguments of the middle way. He set forth, he explained those, right? And other masters as well, those 5 reasonings of the middle way. Among those, we are concerned with the first one, which is the investigation of the cause, known as the diamond splinters argument, where we analyze the origin of appearing phenomena, where we investigate whether a production of a phenomena happens in one of the following 4 extremes: self, other, both, or neither, which is to say causeless. Right? Yesterday I have explained briefly by highlighting just the main points of the self-production, and rather explain the refutation, right, of that origination or production from self. Today we will continue by looking at production from other. So with the production from other, the believers, proponents of that view, they don't accept that there is some kind of mighty, almighty creator God that is permanent, independent, and so on. But they state, those followers of the production from others state that all appearing phenomena originate from causes and conditions. So that's what we are going to slowly look at this view and the refutation of that view.
nē gyūjē tēndē lē kē bā rā sōng gōn tsū nē chōm tēndē jēn dō yu lōng tā nē chō yu tam jē tēndē yin bā tāng gyūjē lā rā lē kē yō bā tāng nē chī tēndē lē sā bō nyū gō dāma lā sō bā chōng tāng tāng nāng kē tēndē lē mā rē bā lē dōjē lā nām chē lā sō bā nē rē mbē chōng tāng tēn sō nē xē yōng dū nē chō tā dōjē jē chō tam jē gyū tāng jēn lā rā lē kē rē gyū jēn lā rā mā lē bē dōjē kyū nē yō mā rē chā sāng sāng mā gyū tāng jēn jē tōp sā nā mē dō gyū tāng jēn jē nē bā lā tēn nē rē wū chōng shā bā rē gyū jēn mē nā rē wū chōng gō yō mā rē rē wū tēn sā sāng mā yā gyū mē jēn mē lā chōng bā mā rē wā tēn rē jēn nē sōng tāng gō yō rē.
The proponents of this view, to support their claim, they quote the Buddha himself, because these are actually the proponents of some Buddhist traditions. They quote the sutras where the Buddha said that all phenomena are interdependently originated, that phenomena arise based on causes and conditions, whether we talk about outer phenomena, like from a seed comes a sprout, it comes leaves, the fruits, flowers, fruits, and so on, or the inner interdependence, where from ignorance comes the next link of formation, the consciousness, form, name, and so on and so forth, where we talk about the 12 links of dependent origination. In any way, those proponents of other production claim that all compounded phenomena, that is to say, right, created by causes and conditions, all compounded phenomena arise based on causes and conditions. They claim that there is not a single phenomenon that does not arise based on causes and conditions. All results that we observe, right, all disappearing phenomena as the result, they all come through the power of multiple causes and conditions. In that way, they claim that nothing arises without a cause. Everything arises based on the cause, and that's what they mean by other production.
다디 라우데 까고바 인두 다 쪽진의 톱 삼로 당소나 나저 켄조 쇼제 전스 바래 네 레준데 당 인 규단 땡제 남자당 네 찍라 때네 제 중에 남자된조 아니 좀 된데 제 송게 닝버려서 그 요래 디코랑라 되네 루드블라서 ben 가바준 연구도 아니 루드 노르와 민로 아니 저제랑시 마동바 민로서 나저양 된데 도바서 쓰기 요래 다 단다 가바자이디 타니 가르서 오래 나와 잠지다 된들이 랑신 잠지라 아니 루드당 좀 된데 셔진 연도 된존라 하는 송샤죠 된존이 가바 제가 요 말라 내가 가 고야 요 말. 하나 강실라 가고 요래서 되잖아. 주세근데 네 당분에 템버러 좀 랑신기 뭐 여바지. jensegenjiang dana jendo gyunde la chochegenji ngo ane rangshin tempa drupaji yang shenji yobache ane rewu segendiang tempa drupa rangshin ngo yinba chikche ta ngo yinba am tempa drupa shenji ki tempa drupa chwe shenji kyeba ta dendeji ane songzhogu yore tanang ta di sungu du mindu ane tak rinpo la samlo matang wache soso la ane samlo tana jigirwa soso pama yi nga kye song tengre nge pama rangshin temba drupa yore yo mare samlo dana pama rangshin yore nga so samlo tangre pama tele chungin shabe so yang nga rangshin ye samlo tangre yore wa o tiro rangshin temba drupa ti ne kara so gore chumden de gen do da lo drupa so be tenjo na la ne kang drupa yore ona pama da buruk dun so me bare be lamna tenja se yo mare 나나 랑신 매바세근지 아니 남자체 여바디 등가 좀 갈래시 줘 그래.
At the first glance, when we hear the statements that right, the things arise interdependently based on karma, cause and condition, we think, well, right, this is what the Buddha has taught in the sutras. You yourself, as opponents of Madhyamika, quote this sutra, and those kind of teachings taking to be the essential teachings of Buddhism, right? Teachings of dependent origination. So therefore, we might actually harbor a doubt, like, doesn't that entail that Nagarjuna, who refutes those teachings, is wrong? Right? We might actually question this. Why is he refuting the essential teachings of Buddhism? In reality, he does not, because Nagarjuna and neither the Buddha himself in the Prajnaparamita literature, they don't refute mere appearances. Right, on the level of mere appearances arising from this mere interdependent origination, that is not negated, and there's no even need to negate that. Right? They don't negate it, and there's no purpose to refute the mere appearances of mere interdependence. So what then Nagarjuna and the Buddha in Prajnaparamita sutras refute? They refute truly existent production. That is to say, the truly existent results that arise from a truly existent causes, based on the helping factors of truly existent conditions, right? So that's actually what Nagarjuna is after. This truly existent result that comes from a truly existing cause. Well, let's think of an example. We don't need to think of some far, removed things out there. We can just think about ourselves and our own beliefs about ourselves. Most probably, we think that, well, I was born from my mother gave me birth, right? So then, if we question our beliefs, do we believe that our mother is truly existent? Yes, we do. We make it personally. Do I believe my mother is a truly existent entity, phenomenon? Yes, she is. And she gave birth to myself, to me, which is also truly existent phenomenon. So this is what Nagarjuna refutes. That's what Buddha refutes. Do they refute that there is no mother? It never, came to be. There was never a mother in the first place that gave her birth? No. So you see, we're slowly gonna try to understand these profound teachings that all phenomena do appear, mothers, children, and so on. And while they appear, they are not truly existent. They lack that truly established core.
다 규디 당번에 규모라 라진 줘봐제 르우드 당번에 르우 라진도 줘보이나 아니 규단 젠직지라 또 규진당 르우 남변도 찍라지 또 메가 바샤고 그래 근데 또 메가 바 임소나 소소 나조 파마데 가뒤 파마 잡아래 아니 보루 깨반에 손대고 파마 잡고 여러와 그 마제비 온네 그 밤밤인비 뭐 랑신도 줘봐이나 코랑 깨바 니지 아니 밤인 거고 요래 된데 지든들 쓰기면도 와 콜로 보루 깨완데 손대 아니 강사 카시 파단 카시 마차도 요래 밤마 여정 아니 그 보루 차가 요래 디디다 가리 차가 요래서나 규코랑 랑원에 당분에 룹용소나 당분에 강사대 파인 거래 당분에 강사대 마인 거고 요래 되네지 되기면도와 강사 부주디 양 부주 타지도 부루랑 인소나 꼭 제만 콜라 연결 보고 제 용도 인고 파마 자그래 자그 말해 제도 그 대위지 뭐 랑신도 배트브이나 그 대우 코나 인고고 요래 규모 랑신도 줘보이나 규 코나 인고고 요래 된데 쓰기면도와 펜순 규르 줘고 요래 펜순 면도 샤도고 요래 어다디 찍라 뛰네 제 샤바로 하선람나 달루룹 라소바 오마바 소송다 다가라 찍라 뛰네 제 샤바레스 제상 규모랑신 데바도 마레 데우양 데우 규모랑신 데바도 마레 코란 제지 규라 때네 콘 데우 샤바레 콜레 중 샤발라 때네 콜 아니 규스는 명다가 요래 다 규단 데우서기 때네 샤바사마도 바 코란 당신 요 마로 와 아니 근데 제가 손난 게래.
So let's look at the reasoning that refutes this belief in the truly existent causes and truly existent results. So if we say that there is a cause that's truly there, right, from established in and of itself, and then there's this result that's truly there, really, truly existent ultimately, then if we think about this, there will be absolutely no purpose, no need for the cause and result to rely on each other. Because they are already truly existent as a cause, and the result is already existent as a result, right, from its own side. And they will not be interdependent. For example, we call someone a mother after she has given birth, right? Or one way or another, when she had a child, right? Then she becomes a mother, a woman becomes mother. If she were already a truly existent mother, as a result, is truly existent, prior to giving birth, prior to having a baby, well, if she's already a mother and then there is a father, right, and they're already parents, well, why do they need to? There's no purpose of giving birth, right? It doesn't make sense. It's by giving birth to a child, they are rendered to be parents, right? If they're already parents, no child can make them parent, right? It's the child that makes them parent. And if they already, prior to having child, were claimed to be parents, like in a way of truly existent causes, then, well, they really have no relation to a child to make them parent, right? They have to have that relationship to a child. So actually, it's not the case, right? They're mutually dependent phenomena. It's by giving birth to a child, one becomes parent, they kind of change their status, right? There's a change there. True existence means there is no change, like it's a truly existent child, right? Already there in and of itself established from its own side, and then the parent too. But that's not the case. So we might say, well, right, of course. Clearly, they are mutually designated phenomena, like meaning one is called something in reliance on another, right? That's great. Nagarjuna will say exactly. We are on the same page with you. Nagarjuna will say yes. Right? This is what we call exactly mere interdependence. Here you come. No problem with that, right? It's when only they are claimed to be truly existent and the logic does not hold.
Ani rewa shenji kari danyo resi gyudang rewu rangshingi tenpa dhruva yina gyudang rewu nipo de chene jegera dan ma chene jegera yang samlo dan je yobare. Ani chene jege yoba yina kyunze ni duinya macha dhugu yore. Ani dini pensun jeje maya macha dhugu wa gyu kangi rewu kangshi je dhugu yore. gyu manga bala rewo che mitup sana ani shege yore din namsha de galwa sha do du ani kyunren ni thegi mare san laba ina ani gyu di rewo che be jawa khadu she bare rewo che be jawa de ne ton tu mare ani ton mindu de ani rewo rangshin temba roba yo gyu rangshin temba roba yo se gande ani ta chune nyasa marawa se yorwa 아니 dende namna oma ba charang chona sunga mare be salamna tene loro laso ba oma ba namje ngazo la sunga mare ngazo gyudre rangshin tema madro ba geje shege yu gyudre rangshin tema madro ba yina gyu soba changso na rewo jungtu gu yure gyu soba chang se de gyudan jen ram zomba la ani samjala koere gyuden rewo ngola gyur song ba dang dende ya mare penna 나도 가르쳐 오래. 개겐지게 개줄을 얘기를 봐야나. 아니 얘기 당보까 라비온데 개두지야까 서로와 개겐지 까데 개줄을 펴도 봐 말해. 개겐지 까데 매나 까서근지 다들 마주 봐야나 개두기냐 최식 말해. 저단 찍라데는 지 중국에데 코랑팔로 펴셔 봐야 말해. 개근디 가서는 마주 봐는 개두지 셰토게 말해. 규면은 저 중국 말에라 규코란 저울라 펴봐야 말해. 덴들 경우에 아니 가양 항 조고 이래. 말매 섬노다나 말매 디로지 가서 니 숨시 망모지 바라가를 잡아야나. 아니 디 말매 니 발로 펴봐 말아와. 로스 파네. 아니 말매 방부되면 니 바대양 매대양 레가 말해. 거칠라 때는 지 바로야나. 대낭신 전에 아니 찍라 되는 지 딱 봐삼. gyu second reula tak bare reula second gyula tena tak bare wa tene ma do ba gyu rangshin tempa duba yo ba che da reula rangshin tempa duba ji yo mare so dene son nang yore.
Then there's another reasonings to negate the production from other. Again, where we negate only the production of truly existent results from truly existent causes. So we question, as Madhyamikas do, whether the results come about by meeting with their causes, by touching the causes or not. Do they really encounter cause and result? Do they encounter each other or they don't? There are two possibilities, right? If we say that they do, that causes and results, they have to sort of meet at some place, and right, they in this way they touch each other. Well, the problem with that is then they will exist at the same time, right? And the cause and results that exist at the same time, basically, if they are there already, both, there's a result and there's cause, it will not be feasible for them to be called influencer and influenced. You understand? The one, enacting the other. The cause enacts the result. One is influencer, producer, one is produced, influenced. If they do exist at the same time, how can we call one influencer if the influence is already there? Right? Does not really make sense. On the other hand, if they don't arise by touching or meeting with one another, one second. Well, then, how can we really establish any relationship between these two entities that are known as the other, one as other, right? Where would any kind of relationship come from, cause and result, if they don't touch, right? Actually, we Khenpo di konsul matugna dini
gyundan zhivu che naya la gyundan ye che sona gyundan zhivu chik chak dhukurwa ngo yerme chak dhukura yana dunyam chak dhukur yore dunyam bi chue chiki chik la gyundan zhivu che se ganda yongam mare chadang to mawa ndo de ma la soba xe yundu gyu gang ne zhivu chungo gore sikirwa gyu yubi ne kabla zhivu chungsana che sona kwa dunyam pa chak bare ani gyunde 마테 소나 아니 규인조 칸데진에 깨바체레 규조 규데인 조제 네바데다 가원을 레브레 네 칸데서는 마테서는 건 잘로 가려요레 건이 바로라 네 저원야 두고면 도와서요레
Exactly. If they don't meet, then where does the cause find its capacity to create a result if they really don't encounter each other? Right? They're completely alien from one another. Like, why? How come something will create something other if they don't, right, have any connection or relationship between themselves? The first type of possibility here, the cause and result being coexistent, is actually not accepted by any of the Buddhist followers, Vaibhashikas, Svatantrikas, and so on. They don't know any Buddhist really proponent believes that cause and result are simultaneously existent. It actually wouldn't hold at all for Buddhists, right? Because then they are you see that they're mere imputations, this influencer and influenced. Actually, the Buddhist proponents of those other schools, not Madhyamikas, believe that causes, truly existent causes, give rise to these truly existent results, and they don't touch, they don't meet. But then Madhyamikas such as Nagarjuna and others question, well, then what is there any kind of relationship you can prove between those two entities? The Buddhist proponents of this other production will say, well, okay, but how do you account for production then? Nagarjuna says, no problem. For us, yes, there are causes, there are conditions, there are results, they're just not truly existent. When causes and conditions come together, there is a result. It's just mere result, right? For example, if a teacher teaches a student first letter of the alphabets, let's say A, in Tibetan it was Ka, and so the teacher says and the student repeats after the teacher it doesn't mean that the teacher transfers that sound into the student, right? That somehow, right, there is this transference of the sound from a teacher to a student. It's just that how this influence happens, the teacher says first letter of alphabet and the student repeats. Right? This is how the interdependent origination works, this mere interdependence. Again, Khenpo showed the example with the lamp in front of him. It is a butter lamp. If we have a second and a third butter lamp and we try to light up the second from the first and the third from the second, it doesn't mean that the flame of the first butter lamps goes into and kind of like sort of transfers itself into the second one. So it doesn't work that way. Right? It's just mere labels. We can only call something a cause in relation to the result, and we call something a result in relation to cause. In this absolutely just this kind of a mere labels, right? As the mere designations, mere imputations, but no way as a truly existent phenomena.
다 드네시 용도 아니 오마발라 저거리 당그래서도 아니 결혼스 오마바 결혼스 거로알라 동알 녀야 매바다 아니 타르바다 냥데 토베가야 매바지 그 매바 아니 창도 말해베 세주잖아 된다야 결혼스 섬노당 고고 말해서 그래 돈담내로 중원에 섬노당나 거로와다 냥데 아니 상와다 냠발라서바 저바 가양 주비 말해데 타냐 낭술문에 섬노당나 밀람당 주마다 위솔도 담제 아니 낭초고요래 페나 나저 닐람나라 너 동알 용초도와 밀람나라 동알 용에데 고 징낭지 예상 밀람나라 동알 용고요래 밀람나라가 아니 ngala tungal che ju sang di zimba ni zen je doa dilatene tungal nyong do yu du ngazo jang zimba ni nang de yo sun je milam da juma da we sul du tungal nyong do yu re de do ni ka so re ni zin da ni nang pa je lam ju la te ba da ani lam rembe tene ju la te nyong do rewo yang tene ka so re 사다 남정도 양 줘봐 된저 양 밀람당 주마다고 솔도 요래라 nangi 요래 페나 차랑소 랑신 가서다 오마베 ngoba마와 된저라 시행거와 ngoba마와 차랑소 랑신 템바 주비 저주바 냠는 제발라 때네 네 템바 주비 데우 네 타좀바 도베 요바 시기로 와스 네 다가나신 아주 랑신 템바 마주바 밀람당 주마다위 가서 오래 주바 냠는 제발라 되네 더우양 밀람도 주마다우 네 산제다 다좀바다 장주선 빌람데네 네 톱주 여바래 되네 안 손난 거요래
The proponents of production from other these Buddhist schools might question the middle way proponents, actually asking them, if you claim what you just said, doesn't that mean that you don't at all believe that there is suffering and there is cessation of suffering? Basically, you kind of annihilate this whole teachings on samsara and then liberation from the suffering, attainment of nirvana. And Nagarjuna and the other masters of the middle way will say, no, not at all. Actually, in a way, yes, ultimately. Right? Ultimately, there is no nirvana, samsara. Actually, all of those goodness and badness, suffering and freedom from suffering are just mere mental constructs. They are nothing but elaborations of our own mind. That's ultimately, but relatively they do appear. Mere appearances arise, and how do we can explain that? Like understand them as a dream, as a magical illusion, magical display. Right? In a dream, you might experience suffering. There will be a cause in a dream. dream course that will lead you to experience dream suffering. And you will experience them. You will feel suffering, but those are just a dream suffering, right? And the same actually stands not only for the suffering and pain, all the misery we experience, but for the goodness, such as traversing the paths and the bodhisattva grounds to the Buddhahood, right? Basically, going on our Buddhist path, advancing on our path, all of those stages that we go from one to another is also nothing but an illusion, illusory paths, illusory bhumis. You, proponents of entities, of truly existent entities, believe that your practice, your meditation, your Buddhist practice is a truly existent practice, and it leads to a truly existent result, that of arhatship for destroyer. And we, middle way proponents, we believe that we also practice, but our practice, our path is not a truly existent one. It's a dreamlike practice that leads to a dreamlike enlightenment. So here is the difference then.
다나신도 아니 뒤제제 최든조 아니 교단 전쟁어라 당신 당번에 대바 주변나 딱 그런 거도 전에 줄미셔 가지고 거기래 뭐데 큐는 줄미셔 봐 인선은 교전 좀만 좀라네 펜도가 매바 차서래 규명다바나 르명다바다 되매바 차도도 와 당신 대바 마루바 인상 그 넘버 줄줘야래 서바데 닝바 차도야래 닝바데 아니 거 가서래 겐신라 때네 뭐바 신라 줄줘야래 대상마 라지 마루바장 차바래 아니 교단견 망보 좀네 데우줍 세두 콘나바 줄주비 아니 갑질라 명다샤바래 데 대마 마루밤 동반이 임비도비 아니 게 용초그래 각초그래 아니 줄초그래 가스 란신 대마주바요나 그 간데선 줄고그래 다 마르메디 대마주바이나 뒤도 남았구나 마르메 올라네 고고요래 단다 마르메 요래데 주소 하제잖아 데 공부디 마도바 하고 말와 매 알라도 그래 난게 놈데 알라도 그래 그 간에서 그 줄도 그래 세도 그래 대마 줍으면 간데진 거 세초 그래 어 규제랑신 대마 만줍상 그 젠당다면데 뇌별로 때네 아니 현다신 줄어태도도 와 대상마 동니 이미 또비 되는 항도 그래 어떤 양식이 그래
The big problem with the belief in truly existent causes, conditions, and results is that what means truly existent means that they are there by their nature, right? No one created that. It's just how it is. In and of itself, they are truly established. And that implies that there's no change. Nature means that it's always that way. And if something like a cause, right, for the production of other is truly existent, and it's already by nature being a cause, and then the result is also by nature being result, then what kind of production are we talking about? It's completely useless. Tantamount to say that there's some kind of production. It's already there, right? How can we even call something a cause or a result in a way that it won't function as such? It's not going to produce anything because it's not going to change. Production means a change. Right? Something was not there, and then it comes to be, comes to exist. Something was all new, then becomes old. Right? There's this change. True existence means that it always remains dead because its true nature is that way. Well, then production is actually not possible. Nothing can come to be if it has a truly existent nature. It's exactly the opposite. The Madhyamikas say, because everything is emptiness, this great openness of shunyata, anything can arise, right? Anything can happen, anything can change and transform and come to be and then come out of existence. If things were really existent, had this kind of core, permanent, truly existent core, they would never change, can never produce anything, right? Change its status from a cause into result. Like a butter lamp in front of me, if it were to be a truly existent butter lamp, it will just always remain there, lit up like it is now. But well, we all agree it's not the case. In a few hours, the flame will be extinguished, the butter will it will run out of butter, and voila, there's no butter lamp there, right? So this is the change. It's only possible because there's no true existence, because everything is shunyata and emptiness. That's why things can arise in this mere interdependent display, right? Butter lamp and so on and so forth.
yang da shenje dogon su ani gyu rangjing ji tembar do ba shen shen ge rewa rangjing ji tembar do ba shen shen ngabar do ke ko gare temena ani chö tam jo chol do do sam dene uzu chen she ge yo na dene umma ba ji kare she re se du ani gyu kha ga che rewa kha ga che de kha ga ni bo de dangmun ne kora rangjing yo ba che 다 덴데 여바 현식이 현계가 여나 데네 탐제라 탐제 계고 살아와 네 마르멘디 이 데네 주당 사당 매당 롱다 뒤 탐제기 최상마 최상마지 최상마 현계고 여래 아니 군레 군제서는 데네 군제 용속 거 철도고 여래 상마 강중만 전 자도고 여래 데 다른 캔사로 자도고 면도고에서 군제랑진 대마 만tum나 약사 말에 배서 저와지 아니 팔아된지 셰그래 다른 우주전은 말에 규랑신 템버 두바 여래 레우랑신 템버 두바 여래 신지기 인람나 근데 다 된다랑 람나 되는 가서 군제 강중만 저 로고 여러와 아니 가서 디 말메다오다 로고데 왜 바로 있나양 디 로다 말메 찹선데라 몸바 여바도 지다 네 나오에 몸바께 받아 몸배 나와께 봐 어딘데 탈도서 말해 배 다 팔아줘 된데 당와래 말에 된소 아니 로가로 와서 저런 세단 디당 아주 세단이 저기면 카가래서 된데 세서는 카가 개차게 말해 저랑서 군제랑신 템버도 바클렌 제거도 템랑신 템버도 소나 아니 견데서 레비온 거래 군제 랑진 담바 만조 바지 ngo니 살나 니주메 바지 아니 코 가서 그래 텐들지 나와 좀 라바이나 데네 텐들지 나와 좀지 교단 견좀소나 저 중초고 여바디 뭐베 전일에 딜랑 가바 제고야 요 말라 아니 제게 아마로와 타년 유군데 데네 나와 좀지 여래 이나 저런 템버 두바라서도 템버 두나 견디도 내버도 밥 두고도 데네 자 시그래
Well, there are also other reasonings that refute this kind of production from other of truly existent causes that lead to truly existent results. If both are other, right? Cause is other than result, and they both are truly existent, then the unwanted consequence of that will be, the Madhyamikas say, that it would basically follow that anything could arise from anything else. Because they both are other, right? If the cause were proven to be inherently different from the effect, inherently other than the effect, they will, be equal in terms of being this truly existent and other from each other. Well, there will be no connection between them two, no relationship, right? And basically anything then could produce anything else. Like this butter lamp can be produced by all sorts of weird things that don't have anything to do with it, like water, right, stones, and so on and so forth. That's extremely weird. Everything will be really random, right? Because there's no difference in terms of their being other. You understand, right? They all equal in their otherness. They equal in terms of their capacity then to produce something other, because, well, right, anything is truly existent and other. So everything will arise randomly, like to the point even that darkness can arise from a butter lamp. Right? Usually, well, we light up a lamp and it illuminates the space around it. But no, if following your logic, the Madhyamikas say it will, entail such completely absurd consequences like darkness arising from a light, from a butter lamp. The opponents of the other production, or if they say no, that's really, we disagree with you, that's not the case, because really we need to have truly existent causes, we need them, otherwise how things ever come to be, right? How can we ever count to anything in the world? There must be a really truly existent cause and result. And you Madhyamikas, well, how can you account for anything that we perceive, observe in the world? And to that again, we, Madhyamikas answer that, your fault is, we actually agree with you, right? Yes, we don't disagree in the essence, just your fault is in believing that those causes, conditions are really truly there, ultimately, right? And we say that they're not. We say that everything arises based on this mere interdependent phenomena, mere interdependence, right? And this mere interdependence, allows us to account for everything in the world. There's no need to negate. We don't negate those mere appearances, and there's no purpose to negate them whatsoever. Let them merely be. Do you have any questions? Please ask. I see our...
Thank you, Khenpo. On the first day of teachings, Khenpo started by talking about the need to know the object of refutation, and there was perhaps different objects of refutation, and then likewise there were some groups of scholars that said that things don't exist ultimately. They needed to add the word ultimately. And then I thought that Nagarjuna's style was not that the object of reputation was not true existence. But today it seems like the refutation was about true existence. So I guess I'm asking if we could just briefly say like what the object of refutation was today, and if this is Nagarjuna's style of reasoning.
Darling, you should yourself have translated your question to Khenpo. You speak perfect Tibetan. Giving me more work. Te niba dampala Khenpo gi gakche gi korla sun pare chik sun gakche di yan pyogi kepa so gakche te it's mijava gi jelshe nam pares ra kashegi di injiminji dun damdu tsik di je yan jarne so gagiores tene kashedi den drup tsik jarne tempa drupa di chogi tempa drupa di ra gagiores tene ne sampala ludrup gi gakcha di tempa drupa di mares ra di jetson kapa gi sumpanashi di mares inen diringi Khenpo gi rikpa gi tampe kapsun gakcha di tempa drupa ravachik ra sumpare tene diringi gakcha kareres tene natsodi kanjes hako gores diringi gakcha
Gakja de denzin zimba kargyo yore. Nizin, songzin, senzin segorwa. Nga da ngayri zimba. Zimba de ka kogowa yindu ta kakdang de mendawa chagre. Chidang umaba suyina yang ta nang ta marme de la shana jogda. Marme sam je korang kakin umaba suji yo mare. Marme de yo mare san suji lagi mare. Marme rangshin yo mare segan chidang. Marme tuan dambala temba druba yo mare segan chidang. Marme yiting du temba druba yo mare san. Ta di shedang mendo chare. Marme tanya la marme nawa samde ka kwaya yo mare. 믹좀 남아도 마신 통용으로와 루루지 생나야 동그래 스투브레라 샤게도 베생나야 마르메 쓰기 요래 아니 다나신도 고람바이 나다 제종가바이 나다 미바로마진 마르메 그라 마르메 쓰도 그래 다 쓰다디 나조양 동그래 다콘 남베지 쓰용도서는 마르메 데랑지 대마 마도바레도 쓰로와 나조 마르메 통하나 중간에 요래 쟁기 요래 다디 개발차바래 다 나조 통하나 중간에 마레다서는 시 용두 되는 시에다 남가면도 하시샤송래 루루지 마르메 코랑 똥바래에서 랍그래 시그널 마르메 데 마르메 코랑기 똥바래에서 나 마르메 낭 미쳐바래에서는 데 마레 마르메 제바치나 마르메 데 강데래샤 디 공부들라 랍그래베 나로지 마르들라 랍그래베 매 바르착바들라 랍그래베 동브레들라 근데 따제 땅 용두 다딜 르바디 직도랄 여러방아서 자마쇼 그래 되네진 마르메 팔라고 그래 오늘 나와서 여 말해봐서나 나와서 가게메 저런 게 마르메서는 템바송 되기도 어디 되기 민도 와 가다 되네지 레브레 다 제송가 배송인데 마르메 코랑 동게 말해 마르메 때라 텐줍지 동 그래서 츠카가 배주당 하셔와 돈다지 루줍지 셰들라 카가 간지 차게 요 말해 마르메 데 나와서는 까 거기 말해다 나와서인데 까 과에 말해 텐들지 전이로와 그 텔로바지 송여로 나와 미징 셴베징 셴바초지 나로바 송저로지네 나와 삼지 가게 말해 나와들 템바주베 가쇼서 덴젠데 가쇼는 따때스 람가 하가지네 변전다래 아니 메밤당 고람바콘 남버서지 슥태가 배주다래 템바 두비어 말해서 코나만이 송거여래 마르메들라 마르메 코란이 똥 말해 디탄이 배주 땅게 매서 마르메 코랑 짠나 얘기 말해 낭차 군줍지 차네 마르메디 마르메레 똥자 돈남 요구원에 삼로다 마르메 코랑 란시 마도 바래 마르메 코랑 템바 마도 바래 마르메 여바질라 템바 마도 바 카가지 되네 시기 매스 오다 디베주 당게래 칙다 칙민도면도 차도도 와나 칙민도면도 가르진 차그래서디 따따 제바다야 제도래 똥만이랑 내반이야셔도 가조 딱저당 가조 제바지는 대소지 내신이야라 아니 펜도체어 연구이래 대내제도 아니 제바 면도면도에 땅용두 가조랑 내바 면도면도 녀라 아니 조체스기래 다 강사하셔라 디제바지 펜도 쓰기 말해대 강사 망보질라 된된 펜도고이래 저배 야부도
A very good question. So what are we refuting? For example, like in today's teachings, we're refuting grasping to true existence, grasping to duality, grasping to subtle characteristics of phenomena. There are different types of graspings, right? We grasp to subtle, very subtle duality, then to characteristics, and then kind of more gross phenomena, their true nature. Oh, that's what we are negating. Just the way to negate or refute differs from one scholar to other, and there's no one, absolutely no single Buddhist scholar that will refute the butter lamp itself, meaning like right now, there is no butter lamp. What they refute is either they call it nature of a butter lamp, svabhava, or ultimate nature, ultimate status of butter lamp, ultimate existence, or some then will, on top of just having butter lamp, but they kind of add the true existence of a butter lamp, right? But no one will refute the mere appearance of butter lamp unless you close your eyes. You're going to see butter lamp. So did the Buddha saw the butter lamp. So did Nagarjuna, right? There's no way to really do away with this mere appearance of butter lamp right here. But then there's different language being used when it comes to the analysis of the nature of butter lamp or ultimate status of butter lamp, or whether it's true existent or not, right? There's Tsongkhapa, Garampa, Mipam. Actually, all of them don't refute mere butter lampness right there, mere appearance of it. But now, what they refute is well, it depends, right, on the language they use. Like if we look at Nagarjuna, he said just directly, butter lamp is emptiness, right? Yes, there is a mere appearance of butter lamp, and butter lamp that appears merely is emptiness, right? So right there, when analyzed according to Nagarjuna's logic, we can look at how do we establish that butter lamp is emptiness. Well, we look for butter lamp in this mere appearance of butter lamp. Where is the so-called butter lamp, right? Where is this lamp? Is it in the flame? Is this part of, right? Or is the butter itself the butter lamp? Is this holder, if the cup is the butter lamp? Is the, the wick, the flame? We go one by one. We question and trying to find the butter lamp in those different parts that assemble together to produce this mirage of butter lamp, and we don't find it because none of those parts, right, stand for actual butter lamp. That's how it's done. This is actually one of the reasonings that, if we'll look at later, one of the 5 reasonings of the middle way, investigating the essence reasonings called neither being one nor many, right? So then that's how Nagarjuna, right, he does it. Mere appearance is there, and it does not really, the mere appearance doesn't need to be negated, because just as Tilopa also told to Naropa, appearances don't bind you, my son. It's the grasping to appearances that bind you. So do away with grasping, Naropa, he said, right? So it's this true existence, right? Is this grasping to true existence? Well, it's just the matter is how we call it, right? For Mipam, Karampa, following Nagarjuna, they say that the butter lamp itself is empty. There's no something extra, like true existence on top of this appearance of butter lamp that we need to refute. There is this mere appearance. Yes, it's there. We don't refute it, but this mere appearance of butter lamp, this butter lamp that merely appears, is emptiness, is itself emptiness. There's nothing else that's emptiness, right? Some kind of extra true existence. So why do they use different language? Well, it's to refine their own understanding and help their disciples, because disciples are different in their understandings and their ways of thinking, and all those different words, different approaches are used with one single intent, to get us closer, to get disciples closer to ultimate truth, to gain that certainty, to find certainty in the view, to really realize ultimate. Because, well, to some, this kind of logic is helpful, is beneficial, and to other disciples it will not be. That's all right.
라서 소남 데 담제 제바니 돈네 네벤라나 밤제 겐가 나제 발람 조바이 세베 졸렌조 졸와라쇼 라서 도시체 나서 산이자용.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.